Wish you all a very, very happy Dashera. And welcome to the concluding session of Effective Entrepreneurship. Dashera, it reminds me, it depicts the win of good over evil, the win of effectiveness over complacency. Right? In all the last 8-9 days, we have been looking at different habits that lead us to being an effective leader, to being an effective entrepreneur, and most importantly, enabling us to create an environment of effectiveness amongst our vendors, amongst our own employees, and also with our customers. This session, friends, we will be just having a quick recap of what we saw in the last few days. Effective entrepreneurship is typically driven by a vision and a mission. So first, find your purpose in business. That's the first and foremost thing. What is your purpose in business? Is it profitability? Is it just driving the sales? Is it social impact? Or it's a very good, healthy combination of all of these. So when you look at your vision and mission, our first habit tells us that be proactive, be inclusive, try and bring in as many people in the vision that you create for your company or your organization. Then it says, begin with the end in mind. For everybody, for every business, for every entrepreneur, it's the final destination that is achieving their vision and mission, whether it is of sales, whether it is of profitability, whether it is of number of people, adding number of people to your organization, whatever it could be. Each one has different goals. So once that final destination is decided and you know where you are, you will be able to chalk a right path out for yourself and for your entire team. In this entire journey, friends, we are not just talking about the entrepreneur, we are talking about bringing an effectiveness culture. And how is that? That is by putting first things first. And who will put those first things first? It's you. Because you are the person who has a vision, who has a mission, who knows where you want to take your business. So if you know that, you will be in the best position to decide what is the right thing to put first. And then it can help your management team to put actually those first things first and execute the plan on those priorities. Remember, we need to schedule our priorities and not prioritize our schedule. We don't need to prioritize our appointments. We don't need to prioritize our timelines. We need to prioritize what we want to achieve first. And remember, what is not urgent but what is important is our major focus area, the quadrant 2. We've also seen how any kind of a conversation can be a win-lose or a win-win or a lose-win. We have seen all these conversations, and what is the conclusion there? It is win-win or no deal kind of a culture. It's difficult, I understand, to create, but at least we can create a win-win to begin with. That will help us to propel to a culture where we create such circumstances or such instances where win-win or no deal becomes the way of business, the way we lead business. Then comes to be able to seek to understand first, and it tells us what? To be an emphatic listener. We all saw what the very important or the very crucial benefits of being an emphatic listener are. So being an emphatic listener is going to take us one notch higher than all the other entrepreneurs, because we are able to create win-win situations because of our emphatic listening and emphatic communication. So seeking first to understand, then to be understood, will help us not only with our stakeholders but with everybody in general. Then comes synergizing. and synergy is like a cherry on the cake. So with all these habits, when you create opportunities for out of the box thinking, for allowing people to express themselves without any inhibition, whether it is in review meetings, whether it is vis-a-vis your vendors, or whether it is vis-a-vis your customers, when an unconstrained kind of an expression comes off, it always leads to insights which have never been thought of before, or to solutions also which have never been thought of before. And that's the power of synergy. So synergy, as we said, it could be 1 plus 1 is 8, 9, 10, 20, 1000, 10,000, 1 lakh. So the moment we start getting synergy into all our conversations, we are creating an absolute effective out of the box thinking in all levels, right from the last level in the organization in terms of hierarchy to the top level, and vice versa. And if we keep doing this, it is going to help us get more and more better results. It's not just going to stop at one instance, because this is going to become a habit, right? The last but not the least, what we saw yesterday is like, keeping at all these habits in a consistent manner, in a consistent way. That is, keeping on improvising on each of these habits, sharpening the saw. That's what we saw yesterday. So doing this, you are going to be able to learn, to commit yourself to that, and to do it and to implement it. And again we go back to learning, committing ourselves to that, and implementing. So this is going to ingrain into us as entrepreneurs a very natural way of being effective. It is not going to be it's not going to be, after a point in time, it's not going to be a conscious effort for you to think that, oh, I need to be proactive, I need to think with the end in mind. No, it starts becoming so it's coming so naturally to you. You don't need to make an effort. But yes, until the time it starts coming naturally, you need to make a little bit of effort to keep at it. So learn, commit, and do. When we saw all these habits, and when we saw all the effectiveness that it brings about in us, the most important thing that we need to conclude here is, it is not just limited to us, it is for the entire organization. So while you are imbibing these habits, you are trying to get at these habits, and you're trying to make this your business nature, you also need to inspire your team to do that. And that you can do only if you set an example. They say yatha raja tatha praja. So people are going to follow you as the leader. So to become an effective leader, you first need to imbibe these habits, and then create a culture, create an environment, and inspire everybody around you to have a culture of effectiveness. If that is possible, anything in the world is possible. And let us understand one more important thing before we conclude. It is, if one entrepreneur thinks like that after this entire session, I'll be more than happy. And if that one person inspires 2 other people, and those 2 other inspire another 4 other people, it's going to be a great thing. So today, on the day of Dussehra, let us commit ourselves to learn and to implement these habits, and to make them our real nature, to make them our real habit. With this, I am very thankful to all of you who have given your comments, who have given your suggestions. Going forward, we will be coming up with much more interesting and much more thought-provoking videos purely related to business. So do keep watching. Thank you, and happy Dussehra once again.